had a number of falling out with before when I was a Christian and had that experience like early on when I was younger and in my really early 20s, and deconstruction of religion and how I was brought up and how I got out of that. The whole thing with Christianity is I don't want to knock it because it really works for a lot of people, but at the same time I've identified, at least with a fundamentalist Christianity, like this mind control kind of toxicity, at least when it comes to the ultimatum of heaven and hell. And like, I don't see how a lot of people don't recognize unconditional love does not put ultimatums. It's like, I use this example, like if you tell your child to wait to cross the road, like wait for you to cross the road, and then they just disobey you and go out into the road, you're gonna grab their hand, save their life. Like, you're not just gonna let them die on account of their like disobedience or whatever, you know. And so that's kind of how I see it with a divine loving being. Wouldn't just like, it's like we're too like naive and ignorant and caught up in like confusion and stuff oftentimes, and it's like that kind of an ultimatum is like that's mind control. But you know, then there's the other Christians. They don't really know a whole lot behind. It's like maybe they haven't even read the Bible, but like they see and sense the virtue in it, like the good virtue in Christianity, and they identify with that as far as having a deeper purpose or whatever in life. So I know it works for a lot of people, and so it's like I don't want to knock it, but it really, I guess for me, it was just not good. Because to me, it's so, I don't know, it's just so poor taste to believe that like God would have to sacrifice his only son to forgive us. Like, I'm not saying I don't believe in Jesus and that Jesus doesn't exist. Like, you know, probably definitely some kind of ascended master or something like that. And he actually like went against religion, and it's really worth reading a lot of like the other gospels that aren't in the canon, like Gospel of Thomas, Mary Magdalene. There's other ones, and I've read a few of them. I want to read more of the Gnostic texts. I reference Gnosticism quite a bit as far as the demiurge, the archons, which the archons are basically these dark entities that elicit negative feelings out of us and disguise themselves as our thoughts and incite people against each other and incite like jealousy and like bitterness. And I really have come to realize that there are these other forces at play. As archaic as it is, there is something out there that's extortion, you know, upon this human enterprise, or whatever it is that we're doing here. It'll be interesting to see after all this what it's all about, you know. But yeah, there's all these belief systems, and I've come to the point where it's better aesthetic to not give away your faith to anything. Like, it's okay to admit you don't know. I found peace in not knowing. Because when you come to conclusions about things, that's where you get into these ideologies, and you project judgment And I've just come to realize that, like, all I really know is my felt presence of experience. All I really know is what I directly experienced. And I've come to conclusions before, and it was harmful to relationships, you know. But there is this polarization that is inevitable, that happens here, and you know, we're probably here to experience the polarity, the dualarity, as I like to call it. But yeah, if you have a belief system that helps you be a better person, you know, I don't want to knock that. I've always been a seeker, and I've changed my views so many times on things throughout my life. It'll be interesting to see what my views are 10 years from now. Maybe I'll just shake my head at these videos, you know. But I don't judge it either, you know. Like, this is just what I'm going through now. This is what I'm experiencing now. This is in my limited state. This is, you know, I'm doing my best to, like, grok with what's going on and how to move through this space and orient myself in a healthy way. And, like, raise awareness about things like this. And it's like, what are we giving our faith away to here, as far as the unknown goes, as far as the enigma that we face every day, which is like, what is going on? What are we doing here? Who put us here? How did we get here? Like, what are we doing here, you know? And I think it's good to ask these questions. Like, you don't want to get too lost in them, because, I don't know, there is an aesthetic where it's like, you know, quiet on set, like, stay in character or whatever, you know, but I'm constantly, kind of like in the movie Stranger Than Fiction, or in a Truman Show. You get to this point, you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? Like, what? You know? Anyway, food for thought.